Hi, everyone. It is the 16th of August, 2026, and it's 97 degrees. It was 101. Then I heard a little bit of thunder, and I thought, okay, I welcome, please come thunderstorm. But you know that time when thunderstorms would actually, wow, cleanse the air, humidity would be gone, it would be so much cooler. I was kind of caught in thoughts of yesterday. We don't have that anymore. But there was no thunderstorm, and now it's 4 degrees cooler than it was just a little while ago. And I'm done with this heat. I am so done with the heat. And for those who were not on the earlier live, I will tell you, I think my problem is that it goes day after day after day after day with no let up. That's why I think I'm really having a hard time with it. I don't like it. And I have to wonder how many people have died from this heat. Now, I literally spent maybe 5 minutes on trying to find numbers of Americans who have died in these heat waves. It's interesting that I think it's about 21 plus thousand who have died in Europe. And the number that I found for Americans was 70. Doesn't that leave you kind of wondering, like 70? Really? I don't think so. The homeless having to live outside in this, it's brutal. It's brutal. So, I. The homeless that I have seen here, that I've actually, talked to at some length, all elderly women, all elderly women. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. I mean, I'm okay with the heat, and I'm inside, but I don't have air conditioning because I don't like it. But, it really gets you kind of down. No energy. So, hello. Hi. Mike. Oh, cool. Steve. I'm so glad. Or Steve's B. Steve's B. Hi. Welcome. Yeah, this this channel really gets into all of the crap that's going on. And I pretty much focus on what's happening right now to our fellow two-leggeds along with our four-leggeds because I can't stand it and want to bring attention to what is happening to everybody because every single day the numbers just increase about how many people are suffering the consequences of what is pure, unadulterated evil taking over and really ruining people's lives. So glad to have you. You might not feel that way, but I'm glad to have you. Andrew Cruz and Chrissy and Jay Northrup and Justin Wynn, 94, and it feels like 101 in Chattanooga. God, am I ready for cooler days? Hell, 85. Bring me 85. That's okay. But this is really, and then going out and that sun burning your skin. No, can't do it. It's too much. Magnus, hi, Rage Against the Machine. Oh man, we've got so much going on. Nez Lover, hello. Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I was very happy to see it. Sure did bring me back, to the years where that's what we were doing, you know, telling people, okay, this person got their channel terminated, or this person has a community guideline strike and they can't post for a week. They'll be posting on We used to do that for one another. And I'm not surprised that Mike did it. I'm not surprised because that's who I have, as that's Mike. Now we don't know one another, but I just feel like that's Mike. Yeah. Thank you. Um, okay. So also John KJ Adams. Hey, John. You saw me in a video on Jeff Snyder's channel talking about the fires? Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, not understanding why Jeff Snyder, this was a while back, about a couple of months, but he came into the chat and he was like yelling at me about, I guess, not talking about the plasma fires or whatever. I don't know how many times I have promoted his channel. I don't know how many times I've said, well, that to me looks like a plasma fire. I don't feel comfortable talking about it because, as educated as I am, I'm not as educated as Jeff is. So that was a little strange. But I've had other guys, and I mean male men, do the same thing. I was promoting uh, what was it, Weather 101? This was so long ago, years ago. And I was promoting his channel. I even said, and if you could donate to his channel, that I considered him brilliant. He came back and posted a video ripping me to shreds. It's like, okie dokie. But his friend emailed me and explained a lot about whether, God, why can't I remember the full, is it Weather 101? Oh, my brain, man. Oof. All right, so um, I know I'm going to play it, Rage. Oracle 11, hi. And Sister G. Hi, guys. Amelia. Hi, Amelia. Okay, I'm escaping the lie. I like that username. I'm in Michigan and they have the entire sky whited out every day. Haven't even seen the sun in a full week. I envy those in the sun. At least you can go outside to escape it. Uh, but you can be in the sun for maybe 5 minutes and then you're running back in. It hurts. But hey, escaping the lie. Okay, so Jane Northrop, I'm afraid that I may have missed people, Chris, Maureen, and if I have, hi, everybody. And Cheryl, and okay. Hey, Carol, ha 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 ha. Hi. All right, so we're going to do radar, and the Watchman is in. Hi. The radar, every day, severe weather, every day, every day, every day. And for those who are new, my primary channel just got taken down. And I had so many playlists, so many videos educating on weather modification and the very many ways in which they can create the weather, the fires, also directed energy weapon playlists, a lot of playlists, geoengineering, climate change hoax. Well, it's gone. Okay. So I might say things that you might either roll your eyes or not be aware of, but try not to discount it. We've got nanotechnology in use in our weather. all of these little precipitation blips that we see, you know, certainly in South Carolina and Georgia, North Carolina, and the immediacy of a row of thunderstorms right there. Okay, that's nanotechnology, and I would not be surprised if artificial intelligence is not in use as well. Colorado, New Mexico, wow. All right, and oh wow, getting kind of close to my subscriber down here who has, not that he hasn't suffered any of the consequences, flooding, in his backyard, and a lightning strike on his house that blew out his computers and his automatic sprinkler system and other things. His garage door, but nothing really major, like how the folks in Indianapolis or what they are experiencing. All right. And what they are experiencing is just horrendous. So we've got 22 active severe weather warnings: Arkansas, Colorado, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Virginia, and West Virginia. And there's a tornado warning for Kentucky, Boyd, Carter, and Lawrence counties. But it doesn't matter. Severe thunderstorms now bring about tornadic activity, large hail, hurricane winds, flash flooding. You can have severe weather without a tornado and come outside and it looks like a tornado hit. So you can check out, by looking at the screen, all of these counties. I'm scrolling slowly. You can check it out. The link is in the chat for this severe weather alert page. And if you're in any of these counties, I click on the link. You can go show me the full warning, and that will give you more details. But this is really over and over. Okay, so weather-wise, nothing up here except for, air quality alerts. Oregon, Washington, Montana, Idaho, nothing? Okay, that seems a little strange. Not even red flag warnings. Weather-wise, what's gotten into you? Because I think that you got red flag warnings going. Extreme heat watch. Okay, well, my subscriber who is in the Las Vegas area, I spoke to her earlier and said, it's 100 degrees here. It was in the 90s at like 10:30 last night. But she is dealing with the kind of temperatures that I was dealing with in Tucson. Very, very difficult to deal with. So I hope she's doing okay. Flood. Okay, the green. If you don't know weather-wise, you click on the color. If you happen to live in that area, click on the color, then click on this arrow top right, and you'll find all of the information, detailed information. But here, the green is for flooding. And boy. All right, so New Mexico, Colorado, and we've got flooding, Ohio, West Virginia again, and Pennsylvania into Kentucky. But all of these little green squigglies are the rivers and the streams that still are overflowing. Some are receding, but towns and or cities and towns. In Indiana, still underwater. Still underwater. Here, flash flood warning, Pennsylvania. In Pittsburgh, well, no, northwestern Pennsylvania, southern Venango County, central Clarion County, in west central Pennsylvania. So that's how you do weather-wise. The link is in the chat, and man, heat warnings all over the place. Extreme heat warning for you guys in Alabama. And yeah, this is not fun. And also, I'm going to have to look for the videos and repost some of them on this channel. Now, I'm pissed that I no longer have access to them. Okay, so let's get on with it, shall we? Yes. Okay. Ohio. Second wave of severe storms hit Ohio from Perry County to New Lexington. New Lexington Fire Chief, said crews have made about 50 water rescues. And Nez Lover, you did leave a comment that you were experiencing a thunderstorm right now. Where are you again? This is that people have to experience this over and over. You know, they have the flooding, they get to throw away a lot, they get to clean up, and then a few days later, it comes again. You know, and when I see some of these images, I think Harvey, right? I think, well, I'm not sure anything compares to Katrina. I think Harvey a lot, right? See the images of people walking through, you know, water where the water should not be. And now we have it in Indiana and Ohio and Illinois and all over. That needs to be questioned. Why? Why? So many homes and businesses have been flooded out. You know, here, Hawaii, Hurricane Lala. Remember this face? Sometimes I just look at these faces. Lahaina fire. This is the governor of Ohio.
Morning. Most of the storm has passed, but as you can see, it's raining. This is a shot here on Oahu. Big Island got hit really hard. It was hurricane force winds for Hurricane Lala when it came through the southern part of the Big Island, and then it became a tropical storm again as it came through the rest of our state. Hopefully by later this afternoon, it'll be just beyond us, but it did cause harm. We lost over 100 homes on Big Island. Several of the bridges are badly damaged. Nalehu's schools are affected, schools in Pahala. There's a lot of damage that we'll be working on. But my thanks are to everyone, first responders, Haima.
Hundreds of homes gone? Okay. Tomorrow, because I was looking for Hawaii. Tomorrow, it's Sunday, so they don't post a lot. And in fact, a lot of these mainstream media networks, they post repeats. Okay, so tomorrow, I'm sure there's going to be a lot coming in about the destruction all over. And this in Springfield, Illinois.
Jesus.
Okay.
Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right. Get out. I'm gonna try and drive it out. Yeah, get out. I'm gonna drive this son of a bitch out of here.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'll let them come here. I'll let them come get it.
We need to get it out from under the tree.
What? That was weird. I hope that man knows that family, because he sounded a little like, if a stranger came by, get out, I'll drive it out. I hope. Okay, well, I think we're going to find a lot of straight line winds in Springfield, Illinois. Now, again, Indiana, the worst hit with the flooding. So that's what really kind of overwhelms, all of the news. I tried to find as new information as I could. County after county after county are underwater.
Blue truck that you see down the street yesterday, 24 hours ago, that was completely submerged underwater, and you can see how the water has come down significantly just in the past 24 hours. Ravenswood sits directly along the White River, so historically this is one of Indy's more flood-prone neighborhoods, but longtime residents say this weekend's water was different. Let's take a look at some of that. You can see the scope of the flooding in the area from this drone footage. Residents started evacuating Friday and into Saturday. The Indianapolis Fire Department and other partnering agencies helped evacuate close to 95 residents, 45 pets in over 50 water rescues. As the water got higher, homes flooded, vehicles became submerged. Some residents even paddled themselves out with their belongings. This weekend's flooding has been described as the worst flooding in more than 30 years for the people who live here. The loss has been overwhelming. Take a listen.
Everybody says, oh, it's just stuff, but
yeah, listen to this, okay? So I would get subscribers leaving comments. It's only stuff. Why are people so, upset? They have their life. They have their life, but they've lost everything. Don't you think they might be upset? The stuff that people just say, it's only stuff. It means something to an awful lot of people. You can't just say it's stuff. It hurts to lose everything. Hell, I still miss my cookware and plates and sheets and clothing and a whole lot more. It doesn't, yeah. If you can't recoup any of it, it's very hard, to just kind of move on.
I had a lot of personal stuff that I lost.
Yeah. So I get it. And yeah, try not to say it's just stuff.
Listen.
Everybody says, oh, it's just stuff, but I had a lot of personal stuff that I lost.
And she's not alone, boy. Wow. Now, you know what? I wanted to play Mike Decker the first video, and sorry to me, because I'm playing it now, and you should have got top, billing. But I want to thank you so much for posting this. It is what we used to do, and it really, just seeing, this Never Lose Truth channel terminated, I was like, it brought me back to years ago when people were really kind of having one another's back in terms of, how much you can have one another's back in the cyber world. But, this has always been my impression of Mike. It still is, and I thank you very, very much for it. And Mike called me and said there was a home for rent, close to, in his neighborhood, but it was too much money. I couldn't I couldn't afford it. But I was like, damn, I think he would have been a great neighbor.
Hey y'all, it's August 16th, 2026. Just real quick, for those of you who are wondering what happened to the Never Lose Truth channel, it has been terminated. She got it back earlier in the week and then they took it away again a few days ago. So if you're looking for her, I'll put a link in the description. Never Lose Truth 5. And I believe she has another one. I'll link it to you. She's now streaming over on Never Lose Truth 5 every night. Carol's the only one that I know that keeps up on a lot of different info. So if you don't know who she is, go check her out. And yeah, just make it a quick one. I was supposed to do it a few days ago, but you know how life is in 2026. It's filled with a lot of ignorant effing Americans. I can tell you that here locally, but I'm not going to twist about it. But I just want everybody to know that. So please go over and give her some support.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think Mike has retained his humanity. I think a lot of people in the cyber world that may have had it, or we might have thought had it like 10, 15 years ago, I think it's lost. I think it's lost. But I do have another channel, by the way, and it's Carol Clark. But I need to, post something and then give you a link and all of that kind of stuff. YouTube will not let me make another channel. They terminated my channel and said, until this is resolved, I cannot create another channel. I thought that was interesting, but how do I get it resolved? When YouTube takes down a channel, I can't access anything on the channel. So I can't access how to counter the copyright strike. I have an email for the copyright strike, and I've been posting that email every single day, and with a please respond to email. They don't respond. No response. No response on a copyright strike on a news broadcast 1 year ago. Okay. Very upsetting what YouTube is doing. YouTube used to be so great before Google. Not anymore. Bicyclist dies after riding in a washed out road. Look at this road. There's so much structural damage in Indiana.
There are now 7 deaths in 6 different Indiana counties being blamed on storms and flooding. A 4-year-old boy, 3 men, and 3 women. The latest loss happened in Newcastle. The mayor telling us 31-year-old James Breyer apparently rode his bike around flood barricades Saturday. Breyer then crashed into a hole on a road that had washed out Wednesday night.
So that's now 7 deaths related to the flooding. And look at the structural damage. Look at this. So it's drone footage. I think I can play this. And streets and roads and bridges and road crumbles washed out in Crystal Lake neighborhood.
Warnings about the water came first.
Said, hey, be careful when you leave. The neighborhood is flooding a bit.
Then within minutes, a stunning washout.
This is incredible. This is incredible.
Look as chunks of concrete crumble away.
It's crazy. Nothing ever has been like this.
Floodwaters collapsing an entire street.
We've got Grant Road just completely gone.
I've never seen anything like this in my life, and to watch the streets that you drive on every single day, a road right before your eyes, is the scariest thing ever.
Neighbors, phones in hand, stared in disbelief at the rushing water, the sidewalk to nowhere, this gaping hole where they used to drive. It's where River Road becomes Brant Road in a neighborhood not far from the Fashion Mall. Community lakes and the swollen White River converged with catastrophic results.
When that
Oh, come on, man. Question this.
road collapsed and that breach of that river, it just started filling us up.
And as you can see, we have a result of the lake meeting the river, and now we've got a missing street.
First responders and electrical crews were on scene quickly to take care of downed power lines, but River Road, it's gone. And
And when is it coming back? You know, a lot of this takes a long time, a lot of money to repair. My God. Floods turn deadly in Indiana. Noblesville. Home after home, after business after business. And there's apparently an apartment building that is now structurally, it's a failure. All of the tenants have to evacuate.
And more Indianapolis residents are being urged to evacuate because of the flooding and concerns of possible structure failure as well. This is a map from DPW that the area of the River Road apartments on Tower Bridge Road. Officials say erosion caused the washout is threatening buildings along Hyde Parkway and Tower Bridge Road.
So even if you're not flooded out, well, erosion, get out. Where are all of these people going to go?
We're just over 100.
Where are they going to go? Let's see if they are interviewing anybody here. 10 hours ago, over 100,000 Indiana residents still without power. Well, not surprised at all. AV8 or, okay, not sure about this, but now with Storyful that takes over, you know, just these little video clips and you get a copyright strike, which I got even before they took over that video clip. Now there are more, like there's a Core Clips company that would hit you with a copyright strike. I don't know about Aviator or, so it's an aviation channel, but I'm just going to, this is the flooding in Noblesville, and there are so many businesses. Look at these cars, okay? Look at these cars. They're literally submerged completely. Completely. You know, how are people going to recover with our economy that has been trashed? Oh, and this, okay? This is it's a honeybee field, a honeybee business, and all of the bees. These are the containers for the bees. It just keeps going on. Here are all the bees. Massive destruction for people. This is flooding at 69th and Riverfront Avenues. That flooding, that's up to their waist. All of Oh God, waters must be so toxic. This is a home, and a home. They're literally sitting in water. And while some of the waters are receding, the rivers and the streams have crested, but they're still sitting in water. You have to gut the house. This is absolutely just a tragedy on steroids. This South Columbus residents displaced after a tornado. This was last week, and they were told that they can't stay in their homes.
The corner of Parsons and Hinman Avenues.
Chaos and disaster. I was just in shock because this is a lot.
Two neighbors living side by side in the same duplex, now living the same nightmare.
And then they put the sticker saying that nobody's allowed to be in the house, but if you don't have nowhere else to go, what are you supposed to do?
Brooklyn Skyver left home during the rain on Tuesday to grab coffee down the road.
And when I came back, this is how it was.
Jocka Holman was asleep upstairs.
So I just dove out of the bed and then ran down the steps. And then I come to the front door and it had already passed. It was so quick.
An EF1 tornado ripped the roof off the house. This photo shows the gaping hole where rain continued pouring inside. Photos and videos the women shared from inside the home show the ceiling and walls starting to fall apart and water damage throughout.
My laptop? Yeah, that's over with. But everything is wet. The floor is wet. My TV got damaged.
I've lost a lot of clothes, my bed, my TV, my cosmetic, all that stuff is all ruined.
It's been 3 days since the storm hit, and the front yard is still covered in debris from their house and other buildings in this neighborhood. The women who live here say they're still waiting to hear from the landlord.
Neglected.
Yep.
Yeah.
We tried to.
That's what happens. Now we're finding out a whole lot of Americans, whatever their circumstances, neglected, especially from landlords. Well, individual landlords, and I'm not saying every landlord is horrible. The individual landlords, a whole lot, do. Just, it seems to be the thing now. You just ignore. Just ignore. It's like I'm emailing for just a response on my copyright strike. Nope, no response every single day. Okay, no response from the landlord when the landlord really needs to respond. But when you have these houses or apartment complexes that have been purchased by investment firms, very few actually do what they're supposed to do.
Reached the property owner, but had to leave a message. The city has declared the house dangerous, but these women say they have nowhere else to go.
Only thing I could do is try to find somewhere to move. But if you don't have the funds to really move, it's like, what can you do?
Just have to deal with how the situation is until I find somewhere else to live.
For these two.
Oh man, this is really, how many people do you think are in that situation? A whole lot. Now this is Utah.
First, can you just kind of explain what this was like this morning?
Okay, so somewhere around noon, I'd say, I was on the phone with my daughter, and I was in my bedroom, and I just, my bedroom faces the back creek, and I just all of a sudden noticed there was this immense amount of water like I'd never seen. It was just terrifying. And I watched it rise. It just got so big, so fast. And before I knew it, it was from the neighbor's wall on the opposite side, clear over to our wall, and you could see nothing but a raging torrent of water. And it was very scary. It was coming inside of my back porch. I thought maybe my back porch would just be washed away. So when I got done looking out back, and I happened to come out and look out my front window, I was shocked that not only was it in the backyard, it was in the front yard, and it had come out here and covered the entire grass, the swing set, the bench out there. It was clear up. It came clear up to my door on both sides. And people started coming out of their houses, and ever since then, we've had people out here. People have definitely shown their true colors. They're out here helping the neighbors, helping each other. People came and helped me with my area. And I just appreciate everybody's good hearts.
What kind of damage are we looking at? Like, have you spoken with other neighbors? Like, it sounds like didn't get into your home too much.
So my home, I'm renting, but my neighbor next door, they own their home, and so it's pretty stressful knowing they're going to be facing, dealing with all the ins and outs of that. So,
did you have any idea this kind of thing could happen in your area? Or?
I had no idea. I've been here for upwards of almost 8 years, and we've never seen a flood like this ever. So,
yeah. And I heard that, the pipes are clogged now from all this mud. So any concern of just more rain coming?
Yes, we've been told that there's a good chance of more rain on the way. And so we are, all of us, preparing with the sandbags on my side of the street as well as on the other side of the street. So hopefully it will be.
This is really, this is incredible. And many in Utah, Hurricane Utah, and that's the neighborhood, Hurricane. But there's another place that also got flooded out, and I can't remember. But yeah, everybody's saying this has never happened. More rain on the way. Oh man! And Colorado had feet of hail. Feet. Okay.
This is a live look in Meridian Village, where they got slammed with 2 to 3 inches of hail. They've had trucks and plows out there trying to clear it all up, and crews are reminding drivers to avoid these kinds of scenes, saying you never know how deep the water and hail might actually be.
Well, that's new, isn't it? Have you ever heard? Well, you don't know how deep the hail could be. The hail? Wow. Well, this is a lot of hail. They have, their snow plows out trying to clear the roads. This in Arizona. So they too got quite a lot of hail, and listen, it's the automated readers of an article, and what they were saying was a lot of homes got damaged, a lot of cars got damaged. They don't show it in this video, but look, hail. I got hit when I was in Maine. Hail came down, and I have pings in my car. It was nothing like what you're looking at. They were just little pebbles, but it was like the wind, the force of those pebbles hitting your car. I have dings all over it. Not all over it, but they're there, and I don't like them. So, yeah, Arizona, Utah, Ohio again, Illinois again, Indiana, and they just keep pushing it through, man. Hawaii.
We want to go back to Jocelyn Rose. If you missed it just a few minutes ago, Joss is in Kalihi, and Joss, you kind of walked through the house. You started by this woman saying, yeah, she got a phone call from mom saying, oh, my roof is gone and I'm looking at the mountains. And, maybe you hear a phone call from mom and it sounds like an exaggeration. I've never seen anything. No exaggeration. No exaggeration. The roof is gone.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're looking at right now. In fact, we always talk about sheltering in place, and sometimes the places where we think you're the safest, we're not. I'm actually standing right in the living room where she was just sitting on the couch when she noticed that she was looking at the mountains. Her roof was gone. And so she go ahead and she gave a call, and she described just that. And we're here right now with her daughter. A very traumatic event that you guys have experienced. And tell me a little bit more about what it was like to receive that phone call.
Oh, it's scary because she's by herself, and it's not something that you want to hear. And but my mom she's strong, and she's like, no, the wind came, and now the roof flew off, and I'm looking at the mountains. I don't know what to do.
Oh, God.
Here we are, and I just deal with it. It's gonna be okay though. She's safe. She's safe, and that's all that matters.
You mentioned that
I think we're going to see a lot of destruction in Hawaii tomorrow. Wow. God. Okay, can you imagine you're sitting on your couch? All of a sudden, the roof goes flying off, and can you imagine? It's really... And Japan got hit with a lot of flooding. No, it doesn't stop. It's all over. All over.
ちらの車も道路で止まってしまっています。その奥にも2台ほど立ち往生してしまっている車があります。
This is all from the flooding. The cars just in there. The homes.
こちらコインランドリーなんですが、中まで水が入ってしまったんでしょうか。中の機械が倒れています。 水が上がるまで
All over. And airports, my God, here in the United States, in Japan, all over, due to the severe weather, they've had so many delays and cancellations. This is Greece. Okay, so these places are experiencing horrific, quote unquote, wildfires, and then they get hit with massive flooding.
On August 15th, the Mani Peninsula in the Peloponnese in Greece was struck by severe weather. Heavy downpours turned streets into raging rivers, flooding homes and shops. The settlements of Kokala, Oitilo and Limani were particularly hard hit. Water
This is really crazy.
Roads became impassable and transport links were disrupted. Residents were forced to flee their flooded homes and seek shelter. Authorities mobilized resources to assist those affected and address the aftermath.
How is it that we can approach people to just ask them to do a little bit of research on weather modification, geoengineering, and to recognize that maybe, they're using weather as a weapon? Hell in Turkey. Turkey now. Just big fire in Turkey. Homes gone. Here, everything's gone. This is in Croatia. Man, oh man, oh man.
Bilo je teško. Stvarno je bilo teško. Zadnju sekundu sam se ja spasila. Susjed mi je tu pomogao.
I'm sorry, but what was that? Now, the police all over the world, well, let me just say, in countries, I listen to them and they talk about how the first responders don't show up, the police are really kind of not available. That's happening a lot in our country now. So I just want it, there's subtitles. I escaped at the very last second.
Stvarno je bilo teško. Zadnju sekundu
My neighbor helped me while the police wouldn't.
sam se ja spasila. Susjed mi je tu pomogao, supruga policija nije htjela pustiti gore. Znači minuta buktinja je bila tu možda 30 metara od mene. Nagucala sam se teško, evo.
So the fire was very, very close to her and she inhaled a lot of smoke. We invested our whole lives into this place.
Stvarno teško. Ulagali smo u ovo cijeli život. Prodali smo.
We sold our apartment.
Ta supruga je dosta bolestan, branitelj.
My husband is quite ill. He's a disabled Croatian.
Invalid. Uložili smo tu da on bude u prirodi i evo.
We invested everything here. Everything surrounded by nature. And everything's gone.
Sve.
Now it's all gone.
Invalid sam. I ovo je moj cijeli život, bili sve uništeno. Sve, znači sve što ima sam od dokumenta. Ja nemam.
Everything is gone. My medical records, all my documents, everything's gone. Very, very important. Okay? Wherever you are in the world, that you have access to your documents, because, especially today, that can send your nightmare that you're experiencing, the flooding or the tornado or the fires, your nightmare on steroids. So your medical documents, your insurance documents, everything, just put them somewhere that you have, you can grab them and go.
Liječnika, imam potvrda od kuća, sve bi to izgorilo, sve, više nema, ništa. Meni su emocije velike. Ja tu sjedim po cijeli dan i pijem toplo pivo, samo da me zamanta. 3 dana ništa nisam jeo, ništa, niti ću jesti, ko zna dok.
Wow. At least 51 dead, but this was 7 hours ago. I think more are dead from the earthquake in Indonesia.
51 people are dead after 2 powerful earthquakes rocked Indonesia. A magnitude 7.7 quake struck the eastern part of the country Saturday, followed hours later by a magnitude 6.9 quake. More than 100 people were injured and roughly 5,000 have been evacuated. The initial quake triggered landslides, damaged more than 1,300 homes and blocked roads, leaving rescue crews struggling to reach some of the hardest hit areas. A tsunami warning was issued after the quake, but it has since been lifted. Rescue crews are still searching through rubble for survivors.
So Colombia, Venezuela, Indonesia, there have been earthquakes all over. Bad earthquakes, one after the other. That needs to be questioned. Very easy to create earthquakes. Extremely low frequencies, HARP and HARP-like facilities can bring about earthquakes. So it's so sad that an awful lot of the population, the world's population, just are completely and utterly ignorant. And then you have the willfully ignorant who, well, what will they say? Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're off your meds, you're crazy. And meanwhile, so many people are suffering. Ohio food pantries see growing demand. Just going to say again, when you're shopping, think of others. Pick up extra food for your food banks and your animal shelters. Yeah.
Well, food pantries across Ohio are seeing more families turn to them as turn to them for help as the cost of living continues to climb. In Knox County, one food pantry has seen the number of families it serves nearly quadruple in just 3 years.
And with changes coming to the federal food assistance program this fall, local agencies are bracing for even more demand. Kevin Landers from our sister station in Columbus shows how many are already struggling to keep food on the table.
I come here average about once a month.
Mark Graves of Mount Vernon says he wouldn't eat without the Interchurch Food Pantry.
Without this place, where do you think you'd be? Oh, I'd be a lot worse off, put it that way. And I'm 66. I'm on a low income budget.
A budget, he says, that's shrinking.
Every time I get a small raise from the government, they take more away from my food stamps. Like, ooh.
They do not want you to be independent and successful. They make sure that you're not going to make it, that you're just surviving. And that crushes people.
Okay, the government gives me and the government takes it back. You don't, never going to get ahead the way things are, never.
Never did he think he would choose food over his health.
I have to send my oxygen machine back because it's a choice between that and other things, my medication. So, yeah, so this place really, really does help.
What kind of snacks you guys want?
Michaela Turner is a single mother of 2.
We've been out of milk for weeks. They've been hounding me all week.
She also made sacrifices to make sure her kids are fed.
Had to give up buying what my animals needed, pet food, to buy what we needed for the house, which was, not the...
There should also be pet food banks. Pet food banks. Not just food banks. Because an awful lot of people are either getting rid of their animals because they can't afford them anymore, then they get stuck in a shelter and suffer in cages. Okay, so if there were pet food banks, I'm sure a lot of people, she'd be able to feed her animals. I'm sure she feeds her animals, but this should not be happening in, the wealthiest country in the world. Okay, just a wee break from all of the madness. I had German Shepherds, and I just love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them.
Quiet.
What you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
No. No. Your paws are wet.
Oh, eat your banana. Your banana. Banana.
Love them. Not so crazy about that one, but okay. And where are we going? Oh, we're going to go here first. Okay. Naomi Wolf. Because I get community guideline strikes, which an awful lot of people think that I'm just not posting, on all of the what has happened since 2020, because I don't care or whatever. I can't remember one comment that I got. I was like, are you flipping kidding me? I can't. Now, a lot of people seem to be fine, don't get community guideline strikes. Most are big channels. They have resources. I don't have any resources. So when they hit me, that's it. And I have to be very careful on this channel until I post the link to another channel I have. But yeah, Well, she is saying in this video that, that new product in 2020 caused mass hypnosis. 2/3 of the population no longer has the ability to reason, and brain damage. Can't think straight anymore. Don't react. Don't question. Just obey. I think we're seeing an awful lot of that. I'm seeing it. Are you? Response is like so inappropriate that I've always known Americans do not respond appropriately to tragedy. And I've seen that since the 80s, okay? But now it's like, it's very strange what's happening. All right, I'm just going to post the link to this article if you want to read it. Has your vehicle been searched by flock cameras? So there is a site that if you put your license plate number in the search, you can find out. I don't have to. I don't want to. This could be just another, data collection site, but the link is in the chat if you want to do it. You'll find out how often flock cameras have picked you up. And this I thought was very interesting. So 3D printing enthusiast creates flock sock to blind controversial cameras, shares design slip-on cover. I will post the link if you want to read the article, but I'll also post the link to the site, and it's kind of cool, actually. Oh, wait. Oh, just a wee bit too long, that link. Well, that's the article. So if you copy and paste this link, make sure that you include at the very tail end HTS. But look at this. Here's a flock sock. Wow. Ready? You can put it on a broom handle or any kind of, long pole. And you can just cover the flock camera, but make sure that other flock cameras are not catching you covering the flock camera. Flock sock. Alrighty. Did I put the link in? I don't think so. Okay, link is in. So all right, data center develop. We've got so much going on. It is so overwhelming. So many people in their communities are fighting these data centers. Others are fighting the flock cameras. Others are just trying to survive the economy or the weather or the fires. Others are really trying to survive getting kicked off of either disability, food stamps, all of the assistant, program. How about housing assistance? Yeah, getting kicked off of that. Everything is going on now. So we knew that this was going to come. I certainly have said, that if we can't manage to just, at least stall some of the agendas or push back some of these agendas, everything will just become so much worse.
Vineland, Upper Marion, Plymouth Township. At this point, we're getting used to seeing these images. We've brought you live coverage of concerned residents packing rooms, either seeking more information about data centers proposed for their communities or trying to stop them altogether. So what happens if local government ultimately does reject the project? Does it just go away? Do developers try another community? Tonight, we're going in depth on a new trend we're seeing among developers. They are now offering to pay residents to support their project. I talked to the American City Business Journal's reporter who first reported on this tactic being used here in Pennsylvania.
Okay, now, developer offers $10,000 for support from a Pennsylvania community. $10,000 to the residents. Okay. I think people will do it if they own their homes. Don't they understand that these data centers will literally obliterate their property value? They won't be able to sell their homes. And all of the noise 24/7 and the electricity bills and the water bills and all of the problems that come with data centers, but people will still probably take the 10,000. I wish that were not the case. I wish people wouldn't, but a whole lot of people are really struggling. So the link is in the chat and you can watch the full broadcast. Most U.S. voters say they are worse off under Trump. What a surprise. What they continually say is how great the economy is. It's great. It's great. And all of, the flying monkeys of Trump's, they all say the same thing. We have more Americans working than ever before. It's the golden era. It's the economy. We brought back factories while they're closing. And, so what? You have to pay extra for gas. You won't have the crazy Iran that's going to drop a nuke on your home. No, things are really bad. Very bad. And in fact, even bad for MAGA stores. Massive Trump merchandise store goes out of business. This store in Tennessee, all right, well, a large store, Tennessee, exclusively selling Trump merchandise is closing due to a lack of shoppers. The store is located along Interstate 40 near Knoxville, and its exterior has massive Trump billboard, banners, brick outhouse. Okie dokie. And it did really, really very, very well, this store. But in the recent months, not so much. So they're closing. So the shop is selling off its remaining inventory at 50% discount. It's going out of business, and its owner, identified as William Bill Hayes, admitted the closure is due to lack of customers. He said, he specifically said it's due to lack of customers because there was a reporter for Knox News who claimed he was shutting down because he was retiring and moving south. And Hayes said, I'm not retiring, not moving down. We own 2 condos in Naples. And yes, I'm old, I'm 80, but what? He theorized that the reporter didn't want to say, we were closing for lack of business. That's why we're closing. We're closing because, well, I think people are giving up on the MAGA crap, and a whole lot of people just don't have money anymore. So he's talking about years ago. People were waiting to walk in the door. There was a long line outside, and everybody was going, choo choo Trump train, and his whole building was moving, choo choo Trump train. These are adults, and You want to talk cult? Holy shit. I would run away. Choo-choo, Trump train. I mean, it was just unbelievable. He made a lot of money with this store, but people are, they don't have the money, and a whole lot of the MAGA who have a working brain cell have figured out, you know what? We've been lied to, we're betrayed. They all do it. What is so difficult for Americans to finally get? You know what? Our government, whether Democrat or Republican, they don't do anything for us. They screw us, they enhance their wealth, and we keep supporting them. Give it up. Give it up, children. It's not working. All right. And Iran. So the latest, apparently, and I would have to find out from Iranian publications if it's true. The Iran-U.S. war. Okay. Tehran's army chief tells Trump will break your legs and places $30,000 bounty on U.S. soldiers. Don't know if it's true because, well, let's just listen to this for a few minutes, but I hope the next video comes up as it should, where there's a news reporter claiming correction that they had quoted an IRGC commander, and that commander never said anything. So that news reporter actually said it turned out not to be true. Everything that we say is like not true.
We'll rotate ships in and out as we have, and we'll continue to. And it's no other nation on Earth, no other Navy on Earth has the capability to have a wall of steel like the U.S. Navy, and then the willingness to use it as we have. So Iran knows it can't get in and out on this blockade, and they know that.
He's lying through his teeth. We've lost the war a long time ago, and all you hear are lies. This is like wild, okay? Wild. It's so disturbing. Disturbingly wild.
There's no timeline on it either. We'll hold it as long as we need to.
Okay, come on, please.
This IRGC commander-in-chief appears to be leading the country to a degree, maybe extensively. Ahmad Vahidi says this about its nuclear program. Quite revealing now. As long as the United States and Israel possess nuclear weapons, we will continue working on them for our national security. If they disarm, we will disarm. Did he just say the quiet part out loud about its intention? So
Donald Trump was...
Oh! Okay, let me refresh. Hang on. Sorry. Let's see. All right.
This IRGC commander-in-chief appears to be leading the country to a degree, maybe extensively. Ahmad Vahidi says this about its nuclear program. Quite revealing now. As long as the United States and Israel possess nuclear weapons, we will continue working on them for our national security. If they disarm, we will disarm. Did he just say the quiet part out loud about its intention? So last week, we incorrectly attributed a quote about a nuclear program to the IRGC commander-in-chief, Ahmad Vahidi. Since that time, we've learned that quote was unverified and inaccurate, and we regret that error.
Do you regret all the errors that you have reported over the decades? Do you regret? No, you don't. Okay. Well, at least that came, they came forth and said, well, that quote wasn't really real. So you got to look at the Iranian publications, Tasnim and all of those that I've said, yeah, bookmark. And families of U.S. sailors denounced Trump and Hegseth for dismissing their experiences and calling them liars. This is when you have, well, you got these just authoritarian types, the fascist types, that come out and say whatever the hell they want to say, but they are cruel, dismissive, they don't listen to people, and they just carry on with, whatever they benefit from, and they keep screwing the people. And the people here in this instance is the sailors and the Marines, and a whole lot of families are getting angry. But I have to say, why are you allowing your sons and daughters to enter the military? I'm sorry, but you have to give that up now. So, yeah, Hegseth, Trump, they really were very dismissive of the sailors and the Marines suffering on the USS Lincoln and Tripoli. They don't give a shit. The water is horrible, the food is horrible. You've got these sailors who were jumping overboard. One actually had to be rescued by a helicopter. They have mental stress, they've got physical stress. They're losing an awful lot of weight, one emaciated. And so when you hear that, and then that commander-in-chief basically says, when asked, "Are you worried about the conditions on board?" And he says, no, they're not worried. He's not worried. And he said that the deployment, which is now, they're still on this ship. They were supposed to end their deployment in May, and they're still on this ship. And Trump said they're not nearly long enough. They're how do you do this to people? No, they're not on the ship too long. Not nearly long enough. They should be on that ship for a longer period of time. Hegseth said these sailors have completely misrepresented the conditions on the ship. Who do you believe? All right, so I'm just going to post the article because these families are rip shit for good reason. But I have to say, why our government, regardless of who's in power, red team, blue team, have always treated the military horribly, especially the veterans when they come back from so-called keeping us safe. How is it that these military families actually think that they're keeping anybody safe? So, a sister of a sailor on this ship, it's a feeling of betrayal. These are frustrating, false, and careless comments, and they are going to have a lot of consequences for my brother, mother of a sailor on board the Lincoln. The son is in his 20s. My son signed up to serve his country, but why isn't his country serving him? When have they ever? I'm sorry, but when have they ever? They are not feeding him or supplying clean water, and living conditions are horrible. He didn't sign up for that. And then one of the family members talked about how, let's see, it's not mental health. Oh, this is from a senior officer from CENTCOM who came on board the ship and gave a speech. And he actually said, for those sailors who are really struggling mentally, he said it's not mental health, it's just health. And we can simply exercise our brains to make ourselves happy. Yeah. And you can sing, "Don't worry, be happy," right? Oh my God, man. This is really, our country has really, the Trump administration, not that other administrations were doing anything for the American people, but this guy is so cruel. And what he says, along with his flying monkeys, the cabinet in his administration, what they say is so horrifically, it's not even gaslighting, it's so abusive. Now, I'm not a sailor, I'm not on that ship. I hear it and I'm like, holy shit. It's really remarkable. At least, administrations or presidents would, just put on a glossy show. Not this guy, and they're not on there long enough. So it's also the Triple-E. I wanted to get to one particular thing that was said by a member about how oh boy, listen to this. The Lincoln crew member's sister said she would believe that the anguish was over when it actually happened. In other words, the ship was moving and they were being, replaced with other sailors. We have heard it said before that they were going to be relieved, but the relief vessel got diverted to Guam. Oh, wow, man. Okay, so the family member was talking about how, we're taught to respect the soldiers, and how can the commander-in-chief not respect the soldiers? Well, they're not there protecting the Constitution, the American people. Here, I grew up in the United States. This is the sister of one on board. I grew up in the United States where you have to be very respectful of the military as they're making the ultimate sacrifice and protecting their country. And now you have the commander-in-chief and defense secretary dismissing their experiences and calling them liars. I'm really angry. Now that should not be happening, and I don't think anybody is lying, except for Trump and Hegseth. But really, what are they sacrificing? They're not sacrificing for the American people. They're not sacrificing to keep, us safe or keep us free and protect the Constitution. None of that is going on. How is it that military families cannot see at this point that they're there to just overtake countries, steal their resources, and rule? We're still a colonialist nation. That's what we do. We steal. Iran was not a threat. Look what we did to Iraq. Look what we did to Syria. My God, look, and still doing it, by the way. How can they claim? I guess they have to claim that they're doing good, when they're actually the follow orders of the most evil giving them the orders. But who then is more responsible? The person giving the order or the person executing the order? It's the executing the order. It's the person actually picking up the gun, dropping the bomb. Sorry, but that's just the way it goes. So yeah, it's very It's mind-boggling. I just don't get it. So this is Magnus Good's video, a little report on Bucky, and I think it's very, very sweet.
Yeah. She's a mess. Yeah, whatever. The ducks. Waiting on the duck pond to get.
Wow.
He's doing wonderfully, y'all. He is really, really thriving. And he loves his duckies. I don't know where my rooster is right now.
Very good.
But there you go.
How sweet.
Filling up.
Wow. I thought deer lose their spots very quickly. The link is in the chat. So yeah, very sweet, huh? So yeah, Magnus has saved a baby deer. Shooting range raises money for dogs. There are so many things that people can do to help out their community members. So many different things that they can do. You know, even, you know, if you don't have a business, you put a sign, you know, up on your lawn or something. You're taking donations for community pets, the pet food. And I bet a lot of people would show up and donate.
I'm Cassandra Garcia, your Martin County reporter. The community here is rallying to help the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast. Just one day into its fundraiser, Continental Shooting Center in Stewart has already raised hundreds of donations for the cause.
Continental Shooting Center, a place built for firepower, is taking on a cuddly cause, helping the border collies involved in the recent animal hoarding case.
These dogs, just the deplorable conditions that they had to survive in, you know, we figure they deserve a chance, and we're in an position to be able to offer them some help.
They're raffling.
So they're taking donations for these 36 dogs that were living in absolutely horrendous conditions. If you don't know about what took place, yeah, okay. This is one of the dogs that obviously has been, their hair has been, well, they were so matted. God, Marin or Martin County, the animal cruelty.
New video of some of the border collies recovered in an animal
Look at this. Look at the condition.
hoarding case on the Treasure Coast. On the right side of your screen, you see one of those dogs being taken care of at the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast. On the left is what they looked like yesterday. And now a Palm City woman is facing 72 charges of animal cruelty.
36 border collies were found with filthy, matted coats covered in feces. Their owner, Paige O'Donnell, was arrested. Richard Perry explains now what happens next.
A spokesperson here at the Humane Society tells me this is the worst case she's personally seen, saying these dogs are both physically and mentally unwell. This is video from the Martin County Sheriff's Office showing the inside of the home on Alligator Street in Palm City, where we now know 36 dogs were being kept.
The animals themselves, the dogs, which are supposed to be border collies, beautiful dogs, are covered in feces. They're supposed to be white and black dogs, and they're solid black from the feces.
Their owner, Paige O'Donnell, who the sheriff says is a former AKC breeder, is facing 72 animal cruelty charges.
The matting was so bad and going on for so long that we've had to pull out chunks of metal that were rusted and sharp, glass out of these animals.
Sarah Fisher with the Humane Society of the Treasure Coast says they were in the process of shaving each dog.
Those mats have been there for years. And not only just what you see on the outside, it's what's underneath that we're really scared about.
Telling me both their physical and mental health are a concern.
They are very shut down, very under socialized. They haven't seen the light of day. They're very catatonic when they're by themselves.
For Fisher, she says this is the worst case she's seen.
We had not only the matted and the underweight and the skin issues, we had glass and metal. We had their tongues were bleeding from them biting their tongues. There was feces in their mouths. Their tails might be falling off. I mean, it's the worst that I've seen.
The next steps in caring for these animals and what their future could look like coming up tonight at 6 for now in Palm City.
How do people do this, man? I don't. There's something so deranged. Oh, God, I can't even. But so the shooting range is raising donations for those dogs. Good on this shooting range. And I will post the link if you want to listen to the entirety. But man, we've got a real big problem with how people are treating animals. Not everybody, obviously, but a whole lot, too many. And I rescued, I volunteered, and everything only got worse. Everything for decades in our country just gets worse and worse and worse. That is not just government officials or presidents or mainstream media lying. It comes from also the American people. I hate it. Oh, God, do I hate it. Now, Mobile Vet Clinic in Maryland provides affordable pet care. That can be done. Yes, it can. The greed in our country is so just depraved. And that is something that has to stop.
In Anne Arundel County, an emergency C-section performed in a fire department parking lot helped save the smallest puppy in a litter last week.
Anne Arundel County community reporter Caroline Forback is on your corner in Edgewater with how 2 local nonprofits are teaming up to keep more pets with the families who love them.
In a truck parked across from the Edgewater Volunteer Fire Department, a small group of veterinary professionals are volunteering their time and saving lives.
There were a few of us that worked together at the county shelter, and we realized that there was just such a need for affordable vet care.
Christina Lopez is a certified veterinary technician for Heart, a nonprofit providing lower-cost veterinary care to families who may otherwise have nowhere to turn.
Our mission is to reduce shelter intake, and euthanasia by providing compassionate and affordable veterinary care.
You have to watch out, though. Do they mandate vaccination? That is something that I would never do. Maybe they don't mandate it. Maybe they just pressure people. But I think that this is a really good. This is what they do in Istanbul. You know, they have these like buses that go and take care of all of the cats and the stray dogs. And
Mobile unit was donated, and Heart's small team of veterinarians volunteers its time, allowing them to keep prices down and even offer payment plans.
Even if a family says that we can't afford it, we say yes, we'll figure it out, we'll work with you.
The truck is equipped with a lab, x-ray equipment, and a surgical suite. Since February, they've been operating in the parking lot across from the Edgewater Volunteer Fire Department.
It seemed to be a perfect fit for us to be able to help a nonprofit helping another nonprofit.
The mobile vet team has already helped nearly 1,300 animals this year, including the runt of a litter saved during an emergency C-section just last week. Heart is now looking for more veterinarians to volunteer, while the fire department plans to keep providing a place for them to work. Reporting on your corner in Edgewater.
And if those vets volunteered in all communities, a whole lot of people would not have to give up their animals. Yeah. 38 horses seized from Oakland County trail ride business. All right. I don't know what this is about. Listen to it. The owner says that there were people who just wanted to destroy her business. I don't know. The horses that were not part of the trail riding business, but were just, housed there, stalled, look extremely healthy.
Oakland County Animal Control took 38 horses from a business and a home in Milford, and they say this isn't the first time they've had to go there to look into animal abuse.
We have had some past complaints. The most recent one was early in July.
Oakland County Animal Control Supervisor Patrick Fanning says those complaints against High Vibes trail rides didn't give them enough to go off of in order to take action.
We are challenged when a complainant wants to be anonymous. So when we go out to inspect, if we don't see the same conditions to corroborate some of those allegations, it makes it challenging for us to move forward.
But in the past 4 weeks, more people spoke up with claims of animal abuse and neglect.
In this particular instance, we were able to identify witnesses who were willing to be something more than anonymous and be involved in the process.
Fanning says they didn't take all the horses at the property, only ones directly related to High Vibes. He couldn't comment on their condition.
They board horses not only for this company, but other private horses that were boarded there. And we made a field determination that there were not any issues that we needed to seize them as evidence.
High Vibes sent us these photos of the horses from the day they were taken. They say the claims stem from a small group of people, including a former employee with a personal grievance, who are trying to ruin the reputation of their business. They say a vet evaluated all of them in late July and issued all of them healthy body scores. An animal rescue facility is now taking a look at all 38 horses to determine their condition.
So there are people who will just make bogus claims against people out of jealousy, out of, just wanting to take revenge for whatever reason. Whatever reason. Officers race to rescue dog found inside a discarded bag. Okay. I'm going to start posting on animal abusers, these trophy hunters, and I want all of you to circulate and blast out the faces and the names of all of these people. I do not like the fact that our animal cruelty laws are so lax that a whole lot of people who are so cruel to animals, they very often don't get jail time. They get suspended jail time, or they're told, well, you can't have an animal for 5 years. Some, based on the cruelty, you can't have animals ever. That's not enough.
Well, we have some sad and shocking video tonight of the moment Coweta County deputies discovered a dog whose owners had put it in a plastic bag and discarded it in the woods. Deputies say the animal was dehydrated and hyperventilating. Fox 5's Doug Evans shares the latest, including the charges for the 2 men arrested.
This is the sad story of a dog named Boogie. Body cam video of deputies searching the woods near the Red Carpet Inn off I-85 in Coweta County. They'd find a trash bag dumped there in the woods, and inside they'd find a Rottweiler mix struggling to breathe.
Hey, puppy, are you okay? It's okay. Yeah, he's wet from just sweat.
Yeah, hyperventilating and breathing all the humidity. Deputies gave the dog water at the scene. Here's what they're saying about a young boy who alerted them to what he saw at the motel.
So the juvenile witness claimed to our deputies that he saw 2 men put a live dog inside a trash bag and put that bag inside a grocery cart and roll it away. And he claimed to have witnessed the dog attempting to escape the bag as they were rolling it away.
Deputies have arrested the 2 men the boy saw putting the dog into the trash bag. They're Alan Thompson and Jacob Burke. They're both charged with animal cruelty, also child cruelty, because of the age of the young boy who saw them putting the struggling dog into the plastic bag and then wheeling it all away from the motel.
So our deputies spoke to one of the suspects who claimed that the dog had passed away, and so they left the dog in a bag in the woods. So our deputies checked the area he claimed the dog was, and they were able to locate the bag with the dog inside still alive.
And so while authorities were attempting to get the dog emergency vet care, they say sadly he passed away, but they say before that happened, he was given a soft bed, water, and food. So his final hours were considerably more humane than those inside the trash bag.
Yeah, private equity buying up a lot of the vet offices too, turning them into corporate. Well, vets should not be just allowing these investment firms to buy them up. And I know that some vets have left practices because of that, but not enough. Not enough. And it turns out just to be greed. And this country would just not, I don't know, I would feel lost one day if there wasn't any mass shooting. Kentucky shooting, chaos, 3 separate mass shootings. Virginia, Kentucky, and Chicago. This was yesterday. Kentucky, 5 people shot, 1 fatally. In Lexington, a 4-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 2 adults were shot. Chicago, 4 injured, 2 critically after a car pulled up beside a group walking along a sidewalk in the city's Grisham neighborhood. And the Virginia shooting, 19-year-old suspect arrested Saturday evening, though for a shooting that occurred at Virginia State University early Saturday. Injured 5, including 1 student. Yeah, I just, it's not a day goes by that we don't have some mass shooting going on somewhere, multiple mass shootings going on. How about those murder-suicides? How about just people taking out a gun, road rage? This is not good, road rage. After a road rage shooting, he went back to work.
An Everman ISD teacher's aide was on her way to work when she was murdered in a road rage shooting. Good evening, I'm Steve Eager. The man accused of killing her was tracked to his job in Justin. That's where he was taken into custody. Patrick Lawrence told police the victim was tailgating him. Fox 4's Dion Anglin joins us now with more on how it all happened and how the suspect was identified. Dion.
Yeah, Steve, the details, according to court documents, give a glimpse into what happened on the freeway Thursday morning and how police tracked down the man who they have charged with the road rage killing. Investigators tracked down 37-year-old Patrick Lawrence at his job in the city of Justin using a combination of technology and witness statements. The arrest affidavit mentions another vehicle equipped with a dash camera recorded the freeway shooting that killed teacher's aide, 24-year-old Latavia Davis, who was driving a red sedan. Fox 4 cameras captured this company truck throughout the investigation scene with a camera mounted on its windshield. The arrest affidavit also references this unusual scene. Police cadets from recruit class 162 scouring Interstate 20 for evidence. One cadet located a single 9mm casing near the Granbury Road exit. Early on, with the help of the witnesses and the department's real-time crime center, police knew they were looking for a blue Volkswagen SUV. The license plate indicated it was registered to Lawrence.
Sorry, didn't have my mic on. Why? People drive like maniacs in Texas, so that it doesn't happen all the time. Yeah, I guess is a good thing. But when I was driving in Texas along these interstates, holy shit, it's crazy. But look at this, okay? Amazon driver delivery driver. They don't know that there are cameras all over the place now. Look at what happens.
On camera, a Tomball homeowner says an Amazon driver seen right here on surveillance delivered a package to his front porch, took a picture, and moments later took the package back. The company now looking into what happened after the homeowner contacted KHOU 11. Jason Miles with the exclusive story.
Not only did a doorbell camera capture this, the homeowner says he saw it through his window, and needless to say, it delivered quite a surprise. Deliveries getting swiped by so-called porch pirates is an all too common problem in the Houston area. In fact, this video from the Heights shows someone taking a package from a gated front porch just this morning. But a homeowner in the Tomball area says he never expected to see who took one of his deliveries.
Not expensive, not important, but it's just the idea of it that's so shocking.
This video from late Wednesday afternoon shows a woman in an Amazon uniform with an Amazon van in the background. She comes up onto the porch after successfully delivering 2 other packages moments earlier. Here's the homeowner on what happens next.
She placed the package, stepped back, took her picture, and then took the package with her, got back in her van and left.
The van.
I don't. Well, people are brain dead. So, and here.
Exclusive at 11 o'clock, a daily dog walk turns terrifying when a deranged driver suddenly drives right toward a couple walking their pet dog. The frightening encounter in a mid-Wilshire neighborhood was captured by several surveillance cameras. Eyewitness News reporter Jericho Tran talked to the targeted couple tonight. She's live with their exclusive story. Jericho.
Well, they say this all started over a verbal exchange over who was supposed to cross the street. They told the driver to cross, the driver motioned for them to cross, but from there it escalated when they say the driver jumped the curb in his car, sending not only the couple running for cover, but their dog as well. Take a listen.
That's when he just turned his car on us and drove, accelerated, drove up onto the curb. I pulled Olive to my left, and the car just barely missed me.
Then Logan pulled his dachshund Olive out of the way while his fiance Celine Betancourt ran for safety.
I just run straight on the grass as far back as I can. I look back and I see his car right behind me.
This mad dash started on the outskirts of Harold A. Henry Park, and the couple says they motioned for the driver of this orange car to go ahead at the stop sign so they could cross the street.
We weren't paying attention because we were on the phone. We were trying to get him, we thought he was just going to drive through. And then I hear him yell, "What, you don't speak effing English?"
And that's when the driver of the orange car drove straight towards the couple. An Uber driver caught the moment on dash camera video. The car goes out of frame as it jumps the curb and drives into the park. But the back camera catches the car driving off the grass and back onto the road.
Run, run, run. And then he takes his car and turns back around, drives down the park, and then flips back around. And then there he yells at us, "Oh, bet you're effing scared now, huh?"
It all happened in a matter of seconds, but it was definitely one of the craziest things that's ever happened to us.
People are out of their minds. They are out of their minds. Arizona, house party shooting, leaves a man dead. I'll post the link if you care to watch. Something's wrong with our population. And here, man charged. This is in Arkansas. A man charged in a brutal attack on a 99-year-old woman in her own home.
We have new details today about a brutal home invasion that happened here in Milwaukee that left a 90.
Oh, Milwaukee. I thought it was Arkansas. I'm sorry.
9-year-old woman severely injured. The case might sound familiar because it's a story we've been covering for at least 5 days at this point, because we know it took 3 911 calls and 3 hours for police to be dispatched to this home invasion.
3 911 calls, 3 hours for the police to get to a house where a 99-year-old woman was being brutally assaulted. Okay. I'll post the link, and he barged into at like 4 something a.m., pounding on her door. She opened the door, and he just barged in and started attacking her. Well, I really just don't understand what people. Look. This has always been a violent country with violent people in it, but things have really gotten out of hand, and you got to wonder: are they being controlled? Are they so unbelievably stressed out that they just become violent? I don't think in this kind of case where they're beating the shit out of a 99-year-old woman in her home, but something's very off. Very off. Teen escapes after intruder breaks through the apartment wall.
New tonight, this picture shows how an intruder broke in through that wall and attacked a teenager. You can see the big hole in that wall right there behind me. It happened in a complex in Gainesville, and that's where...
Literally came through the wall. Okay? Link is in the chat. You can listen to more. Through the wall. So we're coming up to the end. This is also a violence. And they are the most violent. House Speaker Johnson, Trump, those in Congress, as far as I'm concerned, they are the most violent. And you don't have to lay your hands on anybody to kill them, to destroy them. And that's exactly what Mike Johnson and an awful lot in Congress are doing. Trump and his administration, that's what they are doing. And listen to this.
For everyone. If you're a young person watching this and you're disenchanted and you can't afford a home and you're having trouble with health care and you feel failed by the economy, what is the Republican alternative to the socialist, which might be alluring to someone who doesn't have the education about its failure?
Well, the answer is not to turn everything over to the government, because that never works. That drives price.
And it sure as hell doesn't work with you gutting all assistance for Americans. Okay? And the young, there are no jobs out there. None. Okay? Everything has become far more expensive. Electricity bills, water bills, rent, mortgages, property taxes, insurance, if they can get it. Policies coming out of the government, and he has the fucking gall to say this. Well, you certainly can't, rely on government because, hey, we got the policies that are actually destroying you. This guy is so violent. It's sickening. And let's see, do you think that this is true? I might not play the whole Caitlin Johnstone video. You got to give me a few minutes, little one. Capitalism trains us to blame each other for systemic abuses. Well, we have been very trained, like Pavlov's dogs, to just accept all of the abuse. But we've been doing this certainly since my entire life here as an American. When you don't hold people accountable, those people who are thoroughly abusing you, they keep it up and everything gets worse.
Capitalism trains us to blame each other for systemic abuses. The capitalist empire blames all systemic problems on the individual. The problem isn't billionaire megacorporations polluting the planet, it's that you drive a car. The problem isn't that it's getting harder and harder to afford to live as the ruling class extracts more and more value from labor. It's that you're not working hard enough and you're making bad decisions. Soaring.
And I don't think it's capitalism. It certainly is the American way, how we do it, and we didn't have to become so greedy. We didn't have to be, but this is what happens when you have a country filled with people who really have no moral core. Okay. Capitalism just as a concept, no, but capitalism, so-called capitalism, that is not a free market, it's a rigged market, and it gets worse and worse and worse when you don't hold anybody accountable. We never really had a capitalism. It was depraved capitalism. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm getting a wee bit tired.
Police brutality isn't a problem. The problem is that the guy in the current police brutality video didn't obey orders correctly. Israel's not an...
And that's what we've been doing. The victim is the one you have to blame. You always blame the victim. It's a cruel society, so it's not only the bankers, it's not only, the government officials, but it's also the American people. You blame the victim. Something's wrong with you. But when it gets so obvious that all external factors now are just, it's like machine guns that are just going around and killing off people, with the economy, with everything that's taking place, that's when you would like people to stop blaming the victim, but no, they still do.
Irredeemably racist endeavor dependent on nonstop violence and apartheid. It's just some naughty settlers and a few bad apples in the IDF. We don't live in a highly controlled oligarchy where both parties inflict war, ecocide, injustice, and tyranny upon the rest of humanity on behalf of their wealthy donors. The problem is that you haven't been voting for the correct candidates. We don't live under an evil empire that feeds on human blood. It only looks that way because some individuals in charge made some unwise foreign policy decisions at certain points in history. The blame always lands on the individual, not the system. And you can recognize this as the cynical manipulation that it is because the blame only ever goes one way. The individual business executives whose decisions are destroying our ecosystem are never held to account. The individual government officials whose depraved foreign policy decisions destroy countless lives are never imprisoned for war crimes. The oligarchs who are reaping massive profits, expanding the surveillance state, and profiteering off war, tyranny, and sickness are allowed to keep buying politicians and private islands without suffering any consequences. Notice how blame the individual never applies in these cases. If you want these individuals to be treated like a problem, then you're a radical. You're an extremist. You need to be put on a terrorist watch list. You and your friends need to be monitored and infiltrated by federal police. When it comes to those who prop up and profit from the system, blaming the individual is strictly prohibited. Jailing an impoverished man for periodically shoplifting to survive? That's fine. He should have behaved himself. Jailing a billionaire for buying elections and poisoning our planet? That's evil. Shame on you for even thinking that.
Okay, I'm going to post the link. I see some comments that, well, anybody new to this channel, I don't allow people blaming one particular group of people because it's never one particular group. You got so many different colors of skin, so many different religions, so many ethnicities, so many nationalities, that are wanting to kill us off. We've got a tremendous amount of evil in Christians. We have a tremendous amount of evil in those evangelical Zionist Christians. We have a tremendous amount of evil in people who are just about money. So, yeah. The Jews not trusting in Jesus are broken off branches. What a shame. What a shame. Religion, well, this is what we got, you know? If anybody thinks that religion is good, when it is solely put there to divide and conquer. I'm great because I'm of this religion and everybody else is not. I'm tired of it. No more. Come on, stop it. Because it's not the truth. So if anybody is, religious and maybe has a spiritual practice, then that guiding force in that practice should be truth. And what you're writing down here is not the truth. Talmud, here we go about the Talmud. You ask a whole lot of Jews, they don't know even. They might have heard Talmud, but they don't know what it's about. It's the Torah. That's their Bible, okay? Oh my God. And the Talmud written by some crazy rabbis. That's it. That's it. It's not the Bible. But everybody is focusing on the Talmud. Maybe the Jesuits got that Talmud out there so that you could all be fighting over, oh my God, the Talmud, it's so horrible, and we have to hate the Jews. It's the Jews. No, it's not. It's not. Look at what the Christians do. Oh my God. Can we ever? You're a little, antsy today. What's going on with you? So, it's, it only causes people to be upset. It only causes division. It only causes, a lot of animosity and hostility, and it's not worth anything. It's actually very detrimental to what it is that I would hope that people are trying to achieve, like maybe some peace. Well, I'd like to have the peace in the chat. I'd like to have the peace during the live stream. Now you're like biting me? Sweetheart, it's so hot. It's breaking news. Trump orders what? Oh my God. I have this, I can't get it off. So Trump orders Pentagon to scale back joint exercises with South Korea. God. Okay. But I wanted to see, that's not where I live, what the temperature was. And you know what? Having feline fur sitting on me right now, it's very hot. I don't know if you can see little one, but do I even have the right? Yeah. This is little one. Little one, come on. Ow. And you always put holes in my shirt and clothing. We're done. We're done for the night. It's 7:34. Sorry for keeping you here for 4 extra minutes. I do want to check out radar once again, and do check what's happening with your weather, especially before you go to bed, because as you can see, they do like to bring about a lot of destruction when you're sleeping. Okay, so these storms have gotten worse here in North Kentucky. look at the frequencies hitting. You got it in Virginia and also over here, Colorado, lots of frequencies going into Wyoming. Got hail again in Colorado, northeast Colorado. Hail, be careful. South Dakota, look at all of the frequencies hitting this. It's remarkable that we never hear a whole lot of people talking about the frequencies in use with these weather fronts that are making them very destructive. Very destructive. All right. So what do we have? We've got 19 active severe weather warnings for Colorado, Kentucky, Montana, Nebraska, Texas, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. And I don't see any tornado warnings, but remember, these severe thunderstorms bring about tornadic activity. So the link to the severe weather alert page is in the chat. Do what you can to bring, some peace to your communities, to help out your communities. The animal shelters and food banks are desperate all over the country, and do what you can. Be on the good side, and you're good if you manifest the goodness. Thinking it doesn't work. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Thank you for showing up, and I hope to see you tomorrow. And stay safe. Check the weather before you go to bed. Ciao, guys.